All right, everybody, listen up. This is a big one. We've got a critical security briefing for, well, pretty much anyone building on the modern web. Seriously, if you're using React or Next.js, you're going to want to pay very close attention for the next few minutes. This is urgent. And look, we're not talking about some minor bug or a little edge case here. No. Researchers have found a fundamental flaw, like a crack in the foundation of the very architecture that powers a massive chunk of today's web. This goes right to the core of how things work.
Okay, so here are the official names you're going to start seeing everywhere. CVE 2025-55182 for React and CVE 2025-66478 for Next.js. The common thread? That word critical. Both of these vulnerabilities are rooted in the exact same tech, the React Server Components Protocol, or what you probably know as RSC.
So let's be crystal clear about the threat level here. This is not some theoretical what-if scenario. Nope, this is an active vulnerability right now that needs immediate action from developers and security teams like yesterday. And here's what makes this thing so dangerous. An attacker doesn't need to be inside your network. They don't need a password. They don't need anything. It's not a long shot, it's a sure thing. It is incredibly simple to pull off from literally anywhere on the planet. And it works. Almost every single time. So how does this actually work? How can an attacker just take over? Well, the mechanism behind it is frighteningly efficient. Let's break down exactly how this attack happens. Okay, first, just so we're all on the same page, let's talk about what RCE, remote code execution, really means. Put simply, it means a bad guy can run their code on your server. Think of it like this. It's the digital version of someone just walking into your server room, sitting down at the console, and having complete control. It's game over. The details here, they really paint a grim picture. All an attacker needs is one single, specially crafted HTTP request. That's it. They don't need to be logged in. And this isn't some weird, obscure setting you have to turn on. This affects the default out-of-the-box setup. When they tested this, the success rate was nearly 100%. And the root cause? It's a classic but super dangerous flaw called insecure deserialization. Basically, it means your server is just blindly trusting the data it gets sent, and an attacker can trick it into running whatever commands they want. Okay, so who exactly needs to be worried? Let's get right down to the specific products and versions that are at risk. And here it is, laid out plain and simple. For React, if you're on version 19.0.0, 19.1.0, or 19.2.0, you are vulnerable. You need to update to the patched releases, 19.0.1, 19.1.2, or 19.21, like right now. For Next.js, the net is a little wider. It covers recent Canary builds and the 15x and 16x versions. The patched releases are right there on the screen. The main takeaway here? Go check your package.json file now. But wait, the risk doesn't just stop with React and Next.js. Think of it like a ripple effect. Because the flaw is deep down in the React Server Components implementation, any framework that uses it is probably affected. We're talking about really popular tools here. Vite and Parcel plugins for RSC, React Routers RSC Preview, Redwood SDK, Waku, the list goes on. So if you're using any of these, you absolutely have to be on high alert for their own security updates. Now, to really understand just how big this problem is, we got to zoom out and look at the bigger picture. You know, how many systems out there are actually running this vulnerable code? The numbers coming out of cloud environments are, well, they're staggering. 39%. Just let that number sink in for a second. 39%. Almost 2 out of every 5 cloud environments are running a vulnerable version of React or Next.js. The potential attack surface here is just, it's massive. This chart really puts that number in perspective, doesn't it? We are literally looking at nearly 2 out of every 5 cloud environments with this ticking time bomb just sitting there. It just goes to show you how widespread these frameworks are, which in turn means this vulnerability is everywhere. And it gets even scarier when we drill down and look just at Next.js. An incredible 44% of all cloud environments have publicly exposed Next.js instances. That means they're facing the open internet, wide open. They are prime targets for this exact kind of attack that requires no login, no credentials, nothing. Okay, we get it. We know the threat, we know how it works, and we know how big it is. So the most important question now is, what do you do about it? Let's get right into your immediate action plan. It's actually pretty straightforward. Just
2 steps. Step 1, and this is the most critical, upgrade React and all your related dependencies. Go back to that table we showed, find the patched version for your stack, and update immediately. Step 2, if you're using any of those other frameworks that rely on RSC, Redwood, Waku, the Vite plugins, you have to be checking their official websites and channels for security updates, and apply those patches the second they're released. And let's just hammer this point home with a direct quote from the security researchers who found this. They said, upgrading your dependencies is the only definitive mitigation. There are no clever workarounds here. There's no config flag you can flip to protect yourself. The only way to be safe is to upgrade. It's not a suggestion, folks. It is a requirement. This whole incident leaves us with a really big question for the future of web development. React server components are a massive leap forward. They're amazing. But every time we add a powerful new layer of abstraction, we also risk introducing new cracks in the foundation. So as our tools get more and more powerful, how do we make sure that the very ground we're all building on is actually solid?